Right guys, we have new details regarding haptic buttons and periscope zoom lenses for iPhone 15, so let's delve into it. So these two rumors have been mentioned in the past, but now we have some verification of sorts suggesting that yes, we should see these materialize with the iPhone 15 series. So beginning with the haptic buttons, Minchiko once again reiterated that yes, we should see this with the iPhone 15 Pro series, we should see the volume buttons and the power buttons become solid state, and Apple's going to add 2 additional Haptic engines inside the device for this. And Cirrus Logic, the supplier that's going to produce these, is going to benefit massively from this because each iPhone's going to have way more Haptic engines, increasing their order. Now interestingly, Quo also says we could see future Apple products also adopt this. So for example, the iPad Pros, the Apple Watch Ultra, etc. So Apple's high-end products that still feature physical buttons could shift to solid state buttons. Now I know many of you guys have been vocal in the comments about being against this change, but I'm still pretty excited. I think this, number one, is going to give us better water resistance. Also, less moving parts is always nice because as we hold on to iPhones for longer, having additional durability and of course making sure everything works over a long period of time is pretty important. And yes, I know the likelihood of physical buttons going wrong in the first place are pretty low, but it does happen to a few consumers, including myself, because my 4th gen iPad had the volume buttons completely stop working after a year or so, and I could not fix this with Apple because I was out of warranty. So yes, this happens to a few consumers, and if the solid state buttons completely eliminate this issue, then yes, that's a big win. Also, maybe with solid state buttons, Apple could give us gestures on the side of the iPhone. So to control the volume, for example, you just swipe down and up on the side of the device. That would be pretty neat. Now initially, I also thought that the haptic buttons would take up less space inside the device and give us a bigger battery, but because there are 2 additional Haptic engines, that's not going to be the case. But apart from that guys, I see this as a win, and I'm pretty excited to see this with the iPhone 15 Pro series. Because yes, the 15 and 15 Plus are going to stick to regular buttons, only the Pros are getting this upgrade. And by the way, would like to remind you guys, like this video and subscribe for more content like this, it would be appreciated. Talking about the Pros, let's delve into the number 1 rumored feature for the iPhone 15 Ultra, which is the Periscope zoom lens. So we finally have some evidence that we're going to see this with the 15 Ultra because Apple's camera supplier LG Innotek has announced a new zoom module that could be for the 15 Ultra. So basically this module has 4 to 9x continuous optical zoom using real lenses that move inside the device with a folded optics design, and it also includes OIS. Now Sony has included similar modules in their phones in the past, but they had a pretty limited range. This is 4 to 9x, which is a broad range, and considering rumors have been saying we could see up to 10x, this module lines up with the rumors. And actually, because this has continuous optical zoom, I can see in the future Apple giving us one lens on the back that has a range of 0.5x to 10x, and the lens can physically move between that range. Because that's basically what a DSLR does. It has one main sensor with a lens that can move between different ranges, and so if Apple can do that in the future with iPhones, and not give us triple or quad cameras on the back, I would like that. Like honestly, I do miss how clean iPhones used to be on the back, and so if we could bring back those days with this new module, that would be nice. But either way guys, we finally have some confirmation of sorts that yes, Apple suppliers are working on new periscope zoom lenses, and we should see this with the 15 series. However, I do want to mention that Apple does not buy off-the-shelf parts, which this recently announced module is. They usually have custom modules for their cameras, and so there is a chance that based on this, LG Innotek makes a custom module that of course fits Apple's requirements and is better optimized for the iPhone. Since actually the off-the-shelf part that was announced has specific optimizations for Android phones and the new Snapdragon Gen 2, so yes, I'm very sure that Apple's going to have their own version of this, specifically made for the iPhone. Also, for those sad the regular Pros not getting this module, we do have news. The iPhone 16 Pro should get this, and so for fans that like the smaller size, you might have to skip out on the 15 Pro and get the 16 Pro instead. Now for those who care about bezels, for some reason there is actually good news because the 15 Pro Max is going to break the record of having the thinnest bezels on any smartphone. It's going to be 1.55mm, which is a lot thinner than the 14 Pro Max at 2.17mm. And currently the record holder, the Xiaomi 13, has bezels that's 1.81mm. So yes, I guess that's pretty impressive, but to be honest, I could care less about bezel size. I feel the 14 Pro series is already thin enough for most consumers, but if this does make the Pro Max a lot more compact body-wise, then yes, it's a big win for consumers. The Pro Max, in my opinion, is a little too wide, and so reducing the body by decreasing the bezels is good news, to be honest. But yeah, I doubt I'm gonna buy the 15 Pro Max just to flex on my friends that it has the thinnest bezels on any smartphone. I'd much rather Apple break the records for other more important records like battery life and cameras. Since yes, Apple for the last few years has had a massive lead over the competition battery-wise, but the Galaxy S23 Ultra has closed the gap and it now offers very similar battery life, with the 14 Pro Max just being slightly above it. And so if Apple could extend their lead with the 15 Pro Max, that would be appreciated. But guys, I am worried that Apple's going to pull a 12 Pro Max on us, because remember with the 12 series, Apple did decrease the battery capacity inside the device, but gave us more efficient chips, because on paper it should equalize to giving you similar battery life as the 11 series. But in real life usage, that was not the case. And so yes, with the much more efficient A17 chips, Apple could decrease the batteries inside and save some money with smaller batteries, but I'm praying that's not the case. Hopefully the Galaxy S23 Ultra's major leap when it comes to battery life does encourage Apple to give us even better battery life with the 15 series. And actually, you might notice Apple has a TikTok cycle of sorts when it comes to battery life improvements. For example, the 11 series was an upgrade, the 12 was not, the 13 series was an upgrade, but the 14 was not, and so hopefully the 15 series does follow that pattern and gives us much better battery life. And also Apple catching up to the competition HDR-wise would be nice, because they have kind of been lacking in that area with the 13 series and also the 14 series. Anyways, let's delve into your questions. So James N says, will haptic buttons work with the case? And I'm not sure about this, though worst case scenario, cases can just have cutouts on the sides of the device for the haptic buttons. So Aurora says SE4 must have Touch ID and OLED, and a headphone jack if possible. Now Touch ID and OLED I could see materialize, but I don't see Apple ever giving us back the jack on iPhones. We're fully into wireless now with AirPods. They make way more money for Apple, and ultimately apart from a few budget Android phones, most smartphones have moved on and has completely got rid of the jack, so yes, I doubt we're gonna see it. Anyways, that's about it guys. Tell me your thoughts regarding this in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the link above on details regarding the new HomePods. And on that note, see ya peeps.